This is how you use Talkadot as a professional speaker that is at a paid event. Okay. So this is really important. Hey, my name is Bruce Hill of New Skills, New You. I believe one new skill will change your life. The skill we're talking about today is professional speaking. Now, Talkadot is a tool that helps you capture feedback uh, and monetize your talks. What people don't realize a lot about Talkadot is that the big picture vision is help you get more paid gigs. That data is important for you're easy to be found. How do you use that though? So it's not just about capturing leads, which is important, but that's only a bonus. So I spoke to a speaker yesterday. It's at the Wealth Weekend conference in Atlanta. Shout out to Georgia and Carter. And she did a phenomenal job. I mean, the crowd was participating. They weren't on their phones. Like she rocked the stage. And so I talked to her afterwards, like, man, you did really well. Why didn't you use your Talkadot? And she's like, well, I was paid to talk and I didn't want to pull the audience away from the purpose that I was brought here, right? And I respect that. That's operating with integrity. She wanted to honor the agreement with the host. I said, well, let's do this. And I'm sharing this with you all because if you're a professional speaker who's been paid to show up, you don't want to break that agreement because they're not going to invite you back. It's very unprofessional. But how can we add more value to our host? There's two things. You want to make sure you have the professional membership with Talkadot. I don't think you can do this on a free trial. There's so much in the free trial. Make sure you create your profile. Make sure you're capturing leads. I think you can have 2 or 3 codes. But on the paid membership, you're going to get access to some features I'm going to share that's going to help you elevate your talk. The first thing is having more custom codes. I create a code for that event, and it's going to help you in 3 ways. I create a code just for that event. The first thing it's going to do is going to make sure it doesn't end up in your email list or follow-up sequence, right? You can export that and give it to your host. Hey, here's everyone from my talk that raised their hand and said they're interested. They will love that. They'll appreciate that data segment where they can focus on those high priorities. You can capture their phone numbers, which again is an additional value add to the people that hired you. Number 2, you can customize the questions for that audience. So there's a few generic ones I recommend. What's the talk actionable? Do you find it valuable? But you can add or remove some. And there's 2 that I would recommend is, did you get what you wanted from the conference? Was the reason that you attended this conference fulfilled? Something along that line. Make it more succinct. The second part is, are you interested in learning more about working with your hosts? Okay. Again, those are those warm leads, the hot leads, really, because they're warm already. They're at the conference. Hot leads, they raise their hand and say, yes, I want to work. And maybe for whatever reason they didn't sign up, that's going to be a huge opportunity for your host to connect with them and convert this later. The third thing it's going to do is that allows you to get a temperature check for the talk. So I want to recommend using this about halfway through your talk. Let's assume it's an hour talk, a 30, 40-minute mark. Say, hey, y'all, I know we just covered this and I don't want to forget. Let's get a temperature check. Let's pause. We get the feedback. She had some really powerful affirmations. I think that would have been a great incentive. Say, hey, give feedback. We'll get you a copy of the affirmation. 2 minutes, have them put their phones back down, and then end on a high note, which she did phenomenally. She had a call to action, and then she edified the host, and then they went into an offer. It was top tier. So the reason in this scenario I recommend it in the middle, because you don't want to do an offer and then ask them for feedback. That's going to bring the energy down. It's going to kill your momentum. Feedback in the middle, end on a high note, end with the offer. So now we've honored our agreement, right? We're not selling us from the stage. We're selling the host, right? What we've been contracted to do. And we've captured this data from the audience. That's huge. So now what does that look like in my post-event follow-up? Whether it's live or you just send an email, say, hey, here's the data for my call. This is why you made a great investment and I'd love to be back next year, right? Here's the empirical data. Also, here's the people that raise their hand and say they want more. You may have already talked to someone, you may not have, but now you know exactly who they are. So it's a win-win for everyone. You can leverage Talkadot as a speaker. And then the bonus for you is that data for that talk shows up in your history. So as an event planner or conference is looking for speakers on the topics that you speak, they can go and say, oh, look, she just spoke at Wealth Weekend. That's amazing, right in Atlanta. And here was the feedback from the audience. So now it's an easier decision for event planners to choose you as a speaker. So I don't want you to miss any opportunity when you're on the stage. And I want you to honor the agreement with the person that hired you, want to operate in integrity. That's how you do both. You tell excited. I love talking about, I love speaking because that's a direct chance to influence people's hearts and minds, to change their lives, to help them excel in their business. So I take it very seriously. And I already shared this feedback with her. But I want to share with you as well, because whether you're early in your speaking journey, I want you to set good habits. If you've been speaking for 10, 20, 30 years, I need you to evolve and to continue to improve. I don't want you to stagnate. Like, oh, this is the way I've done it for decades. Okay, but it's a new decade. Let's find some new ways to deliver more value. So my name is Bruce Hill, New Skills for You. Huge fan of Talkadot. My link for the free trial is there in the comments. However, I strongly encourage you, if you're taking your speaking business seriously, to upgrade to the pro membership. All right. Remember, one new skill will change your life.